And if you follow me and you tired of hearing this stuff, then just scroll on. But if you care to listen, then go ahead. This video really is just for me, to help me heal. Anyway, I'm not ashamed to talk about what was done to me and the hurt that was caused on me. So one of the biggest incidences that I had with Kiara, my line sister, back down when I was in college, was there was this moment during homecoming weekend where we were at our other line sister Leah's house, and Kiara, being the narcissist that she is, she started going into her whole verbal attacking, just aggressive, abrasive, passive aggressive, nasty, emotional abuse, verbal abuse. You know how narcissists, when they get into those modes where they just start saying a bunch of things to you, just saying things that are just very emotionally abusive. Like they go into a whole episode, basically go into a whole lecture of just talking so much crap about you. Some of the things that were said were, oh, Terry, take that wig off and you look stupid, you look ugly, it's sticking to your eyelash. Another thing that she did is oh, when we were at the homecoming tailgate, I didn't like the way that you talked to me and you owe me an apology. You need to apologize to me right now. The whole entire time I'm ignoring her. And as I'm like ignoring her, I'm like looking at my phone, like looking through, I had Snapchat at the time. So I was on Snapchat looking at myself, and then because of the hater that she is, was upset at me feeling myself and not paying her no attention. So she continued to get worse. And she goes, oh, she's over there. She's over there looking at herself. She's over there taking her selfie. She's not paying any attention to me. If you don't listen to what I'm saying right now, then I'm going to come over there and I'm going to slap the shit out of you. I'm going to go over there and I'm going to punch the shit out of you. I'm going to go over there and I'm going to fight you. Was threatening to beat my ass. As I'm walking around Leah's house, trying to, escape the situation. She's following me around, continuing to be aggressive, continuing to be abrasive. At some point, she's screaming at me, like clapping her hands, get off your phone, get off your phone, pay attention to me, because she was mad that I was not paying attention to her. So now what she's doing is reactive abuse. Secondly, to add insult to injury, what the bitch did is at some point, I had sat down on the couch, and then when I decided to get up, she snatched my phone out of my hand. That's when she had me fucked up. So at that point, I stopped ignoring her, and I looked directly at her, and I said, give me my phone. And she, are you going to listen to me? Are you going to talk to me? I'm like, give me my phone. I pay for it. Give me my phone. Snatched the phone back out of her hand. And then at that point, that's when she started to do the whole screaming, get off your phone, because, she was mad that I'm not paying attention to her. Then when she gets into the meeting that we had with our advisors a couple of weeks later, she's saying, oh, well, Terry wasn't paying attention to me and she's just on her phone and she's just being, and that's just so disrespectful. Gaslighting the situation, basically trying to make it seem like she was just trying to play the victim, trying to make it seem as if she was just respectfully talking to me calmly and kindly, when she wasn't. She wasn't acknowledging the fact that she's screaming and hollering at me. She's not acknowledging the fact that she's followed me around in Leah's entire first level of her apartment, her condo. Technically it was a condo because she got 2 levels. The entire first level of Leah's condo. She's not talking about how she's following me around. She's not talking about how she's screaming and hollering at me. She's not talking about how she's threatening to fight me. She's not talking about how she's snatching my phone out my hand. She's not talking about any of that. Gaslit the whole situation and made herself out to be the victim. And when we were in the meeting with our advisors, not only was she the one that was in the wrong, because she was the one that was the aggressor, she was the one that was the abuser, she came and she played the victim and made me out to be the villain. And what made, to add insult to injury, is that my other line sisters, Arishay and Kaylin, were on FaceTime with Leah, and even they were from a totally different location. They were the ones that actually helped, because at some point in time, I'll thank Arishay for this, but Arishay was saying, Kiara, stop talking to my motherfucking sister like that. And then Kiara goes, no, I'm not. I'm going to talk to her in a yo kind of way. So yes, I was appreciative that Arishay did help out and tell her, hey, she was the only one that had some sense in the moment that was like, hey, Kiara, just stop talking to her like that. Leave her alone. But when we got into the meeting, they all switched up. They all switched up. Jennifer was our other line sister. She was also there as well at Leah's house. And at some point, I go over to Jennifer and I'm asking her, like, hey, Jen, can we get up out of here? Because Jennifer had a car. And I'm like, hey, girl, can we get up out of here? And she goes, nope, go on over there and deal with your line sister. Go ahead and deal with her. And Jennifer's over here having a whole photo shoot in the corner, not paying any attention to me. So all of them knew that Kiera was the aggressor. All of them knew that Kiera was in the wrong. But when we get into this meeting, they all collectively covered for her. She sat up there and lied in front of everyone, and every single last one of them, Erishay, Kaylin, Jennifer, Leah, all of them backed her up. And what's ironic is they constantly, these are my line sisters, okay? It was 6 of us on the line, right? So when you have one, Kiera, being that main culprit, and then the other 4 of them just, basically covering for her and, just basically saying like, oh, what Kiera was saying is right and Terry's the one that's wrong. Like not even, being real about what really had happened. So yeah, it was 5 against 1. And when you're 5 against 1 going into a meeting like that, of course, with that whole group thing, it was like a battle that I felt like I couldn't win going into that battle. Okay. Also at the time when we were having this meeting with our advisors, is that first of all, back then, I have always been autistic, okay? Always been autistic. And I was unaware and undiagnosed that I was autistic at the time. And I had no idea at the time that I went nonverbal. Because if I'm in a meeting with 5 aggressors, 3 advisors, it's 8 of us, 8 people against 1 person, me. That was overwhelming for me. My brain literally shut down. I literally could not speak. So when Kiera was saying all of these lies, because I went nonverbal, I wasn't able to say what I needed to say and say, oh no, she's lying. This isn't what's happening. She's lying about all that. Like I couldn't speak my truth at the time. And what also upsets me more is that how all of my line sisters basically covered for Kiera, knowing that she was the one that was in the wrong, knowing that she was the villain in the situation and I was the one that was being personally victimized, knowing that Kiera was the aggressor and I was the one that was on the receiving end of all of this abuse. They all covered for her. So it's like, she was wrong, but you're not willing to call her out on her being wrong. That is what's wrong. That's why I have an issue with them. Also, my line sisters constantly would say like, oh, you need to ride for your ships. Like they call them your ship, right? Like, oh, you need to ride for your ships and you need to be loyal to us and everything. And it was always, Terry, you need to ride for your ships. You need to be loyal to us. But when it came time for them to ride for their ship, for me to be loyal to me, they didn't do it. So it was a double standard. It was, yeah, you need to ride for your ships and be loyal to us. But when it's time to be loyal to you, we're not going to ride for you. So it's like, don't sit up there and preach practice what you preach, baby. Don't sit up there and practice ride for your ships if you're not going to ride for all of them. And the thing is, one thing that they kept saying is that, our line name is called 6DOS, right? What they would used to say is they would say, no, we're not 6DOS, we're 5DOS because we don't want Terry, we don't want her. So it's like, don't sit up there and constantly say ride for your ships if you're not going to ride for all of them. And then on top of that, for them to, from the jump, they were basically trying to kick me out of the ship, trying to make it seem like they didn't want me and was just constantly just ostracizing me and rejecting me. And would constantly say, oh, it's 5DOS. We don't care about you. We don't want you. Leave us. We don't even like you. But then when I would go off and be by myself and go and, be more independent or we had a very large chapter with many different women. So when I would go spend time with, our other servers, our other profites, those that took me under their wing, that love on me, would, include me and stuff like that, then the rest of my line sisters would get mad because I was spending time with other people. And then they would go and say, turn around. It was always this gaslighting. Like they would push me away. And then when I would go spend time with other people, how come you never spend time with your ships? You never talk to us. You never be around us. Who would want to be around somebody when you're constantly abusing them? That's why I told them, I said, y'all don't want me around because you care about me and you love me. You only want me around so that I can be your punching bag, so that I can be your scapegoat, so that y'all could just use me as your emotional dumping ground. You only want me around to emotionally regulate yourselves. And I'm a human being. I'm a person. I have feelings. And I don't deserve to be treated that way. And they also didn't like the fact how other people took me in and how other people were loving on me and caring about me and treating me well because they wanted me to be, treated the same way that they were treating me. They wanted everybody collectively to just treat me like shit, like garbage. And I'm a human being, and I did not deserve that. I did not deserve that.